Hi, I'm Carl Azus for CNN 10, and we're kicking off our last week of the season. After this Friday, we'll be off the air and scheduled to return on August 14th. First story today takes us to Sri Lanka. It's an island nation in the Indian Ocean, a little larger than the U.S. state of West Virginia, and about 500,000 Sri Lankans have been affected by the worst flooding the nation has seen in 14 years. It was brought on by the monsoon rains, which typically hit in May, but this year's rains were heavier than usual, and they came after 2 months of drought. The resulting floods have killed more than 160 people. Around 100 others are still missing, and Sri Lankan authorities expect the number of deaths to rise as the rains continue. It's not just flooding. Landslides have occurred across the country. Some have blocked roads, and officials have warned the people who've been stranded about the possibility of crocodile attacks. In addition to the Red Cross, the neighboring country of India has sent ships, divers, and medical teams. Other countries are also sending aid, as many Sri Lankans have lost everything they had. Next today, Monday, was a day of remembrance in the U.S. The Memorial Day holiday honors those who've died while serving in the nation's conflicts. The tradition began during the U.S. Civil War. It was originally known as Decoration Day because it's when mourners decorated the graves of those who'd been killed. After World War I, the name was changed to Memorial Day. And now, on the last Monday in May, it's marked with parades, public events, speeches, and church services nationwide. As part of the tradition, the U.S. President lays a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknowns at Arlington National Cemetery.
We only hope that every day we can prove worthy, not only of their sacrifice and service, but of the sacrifice made by the families and loved ones they left behind.
And at an event benefiting veterans and first responders, Vice President Mike Pence summed up the holiday by saying, "Their duty was to serve, our duty is to remember."
We come every Memorial Day when we can, and we thank Arlington for letting CNN be here and bring you these images. This is the place where so many of those fallen on the battlefields since 9/11 have come to their final resting place. 890 souls killed in action since the 9/11 attacks, buried here. The passage of time, the years, is quite remarkable. The latest who have fallen on the battlefields, just 22 years old. So back on 9/11, very small children on that day. Here today, we see what we have seen every year we have been here. Families, parents, grandparents, small children, battle buddies. They come, they pause, they pay their respects. And of course, this is going on at cemeteries in towns and cities all across this country today as people remember those who serve. It is here, though, that it becomes a national moment. So many of those who are buried here fell in places that have become part of the national conversation, places like Fallujah, Ramadi, Diyala province in Iraq, in Afghanistan, places like Kandahar, and if you'll permit me, a special shout out to some of those who fought in the Korangal Valley of Afghanistan. They're good buddies. So this is a very special place. It's very meaningful. We have seen the same families in some cases year after year. We've watched their children grow up. Many of them have come up to me this morning for a bit of a chat. What these families want is what military families want across this country. They just want to make sure they are never forgotten.
As we round the corner, this is where we store the Vietnam collection. There's over 1,400 boxes here. They're all organized by when they were left at the wall, so it's all in chronological order. And we've been collecting since 1982. I think there's probably anywhere between 250,000 and 400,000 objects. This was actually a flag that was given to John George Sparks. He was a prisoner of war for 5 years in Vietnam. So you can see here there's a cross, and there's a little ribbon that kind of holds the cross in place. He describes that this cross was made out of the toothpaste tube a toothpaste tube that he used in Vietnam. And then the tie here comes from his POW uniform. This is a letter that was left by possibly a wife of a POW. In 2 days, it will be 50 years since you became missing in action. All these years, I have loved you and believed that you were alive in a POW camp and would come home to us. But now I am accepting that you are with the Lord in heaven. I loved you then, Bruce, and I love you now, and I always will love you. This motorcycle was left at the wall. It was actually left at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. It was left in 1995 for Memorial Day. So there's a group of veterans who got together. They got together and made this motorcycle in honor of the 37 men from Wisconsin who were MIA or POWs. This is a retired plate in Wisconsin, so no one else can put this on their motorcycle. It's not to be ridden on until all 37 are accounted for.
Ten-second trivia. Which of these technology companies is the youngest? Yahoo, Amazon, Google, or Facebook? These companies are listed from the oldest to the youngest. Facebook was founded the most recently in 2004. More than 13 years later, Facebook is closing in on 2 billion people who use it every month. That's more than a quarter of the entire world's population. But does using it make their lives better? A new study suggests that the more time people spend on Facebook, the less happy and healthy they're likely to be. This involved researchers from Yale University and the University of California, San Diego. They looked at information from more than 5,000 people and what they said about themselves in terms of their Facebook use and their health. The study concluded that people who use Facebook more often tend to be less happy with their lives overall and more likely to report mental health issues than people who don't use Facebook as often. The study was published in the American Journal of Epidemiology, and there have been others with similar findings. What researchers suggest is that Facebook is not a good substitute for interacting with friends in person, though many users say it has been effective in connecting them with people they cannot visit in person. There's also been separate research that has found some upsides to using Facebook, one of them being that people who portray themselves honestly in their profile have benefited when their Facebook friends show them support. Any vending machine can drop chips, sodas, or candy bars. Where's the red meat?
Greek brat with feta and olives, a bratwurst with wild rice, tomato, basil, Parmesan brat.
Here it is. This butcher shop in Wisconsin couldn't keep up with customer demand, so it brought in a machine to help dispense meat. The owner says everything's fresh, and it's not just brats and bacon you can buy here. Seasonings and even potato salad are waiting for that special, hungry customer. Now, those who want to see their steak carved might butcher this idea, and no vegetarian's going to defend it. But if you're looking for a meat idea on how to meet the meaty needs of the most uncompromising meatheads, with this, you'll never need to ask, where's the beef? I'm Carl Azus. This is CNN 10.